Kablowie.
Action, baby.
Kablow. We're live. We're recording.
We are.
We're here. We're queer. We're drinking all the beer.
Apart from I don't drink.
We're the Media Illiterates. This is our new little podcast that we formulated. Basically, we watch movies all the time and we talk shit about them. And we thought, why not just talk shit about them on a podcast?
Exactly.
But why are we actually called the Media Illiterates, though, Anna?
Oh, well, I would love to tell you, Justin. All right. So basically, it was established very, very early on in our relationship, and just any conversation I have with anybody, that I have not seen many films at all. I'm a complete, and I am the illiterate out of the two of us. And considering that a lot of our movie watching that we do a lot of the time is you educating me and making me not illiterate on a lot of things. So we just decided, hey, why don't we turn this into a podcast, like we say? So that is the context you need, basically. And yeah, this is our first episode, and we're just gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, so that is kind of like the impetus of like where this podcast came from. But I think it's interesting. It creates an interesting dynamic because there is some movies you've obviously seen, but it is just a very small amount. Like, you'd be very surprised, audience at home, just how few movies she's actually seen. It's like dating an Amish person or something. It's like very... I'll say like a really obvious movie and she'll be like, what is that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? What is that? Like, what are you even... Do you even live in the world? Like, what is happening? But yeah, go on. Tell them why it is, though. Tell them why.
Yeah, like, well, all I'll say is basically, like, well, one of the examples of just a really well-known franchise that I've only just watched. The first time I ever watched the Back to the Future movies was literally like this time last year. So just to give everybody some context of how long it's been, so like how I've lived my life somehow, and yeah, I don't really know why why I'm sort of like this. I guess I just didn't really grow up like, I guess, like you did, just watching movies kind of in my spare time. A lot of my spare time when I was growing up was playing Minecraft, to be honest. So, which I think will say a lot. I think the only time I ever actually sat down and decided I'm gonna watch a franchise by myself because I want to do it for me and because all of my friends had seen it was the Harry Potter series when I was like 14. And my obsession continues. In fact, I'm actually wearing a Gryffindor t-shirt today, so cool. You know, that has stayed with me. But yeah, just in terms of pretty much like a lot of other really famous movies, yeah, for some reason I just never got around to it. So
yeah,
but we're gonna get around to them now. This is the point of the podcast.
I think what's interesting though is that you're quite open, and I think you trust my taste as well, which is good. But like, occasionally we'll watch something, you'll go, "Oh, I didn't really like that," or whatever. But most of the time, it seems that you do quite enjoy most of the stuff that I show you. And even if you don't, it still sparks up some like interesting conversation just around 100%. It anyway in general. But anyway, today we are going to be talking about a movie that you have actually seen before.
Yes. Few times, actually. It's a multiple. I think when we watched this the other night, it was probably like my third or fourth time watching this movie. Which I can't say for a lot of films, but for this one, it is definitely a classic.
It's a big one. It's a doozy. And it is Jurassic Park. The classic, the iconic.
Back to 1993, baby.
I would have been 2 years old when this movie came out.
And I was not even a thought.
Not even a twinkle in your parents' eyes.
My parents had not even met yet. That's how long ago.
Well, let's first talk about... I mean, just so everybody knows at home, we're kind of freeballing this a little bit. We're going to try and come up with a little bit of a format of like running down different bits of the film and stuff. But for the moment, we're just kind of being a little loosey-goosey, you know? Being a little loosey-goosey with it for a bit.
Yeah.
But let's talk about first just the kind of general movie stuff. So like just the way it was shot, the lighting, the kind of pacing, stuff like that. Do you have any thoughts on any of that kind of stuff? the acting?
Well, I just want to start this off as well by saying that the reason we even watched this in the first place was because obviously it's Sam Neill who played Dr. Grant. Obviously died recently, very suddenly, age 78. R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace.
That's why we decided to watch this because we were like, we should watch it in honor. And then yeah, as we were watching this, we go, you know what, this should be our first episode of the podcast. So that's why we
Yeah.
ended up doing this. It's a little bit of a tribute to
We will
him.
be covering more
And
Sam
yeah,
Neill movies, by the way. I have
yes,
other Sam Neill
yes,
movies planned for this. So
yes. Yeah. Also, I watched there was a reel that came up on Instagram that he could have been James Bond. There was a James Bond
yes,
screen
I
test
saw that on
that
Instagram as
came up.
well. Yeah, yeah. He would have been an
And I
interesting
was
James
like,
Bond, but
I would have loved that. That he did so
he certainly
well.
looks the part for sure.
He certainly did, yeah. And
Yeah.
considering the fact that the actor is not Australian, he was coming. The British accent was actually quite convincing. He did a good job there. But yeah, I mean, I feel like in terms of like the general movie stuff, I feel like this is kind of more your lane in terms of my kind of commentary on the film. That I've got a bit more to say about like the acting and the actors in general. I mean, I can say for the plot, the I mean, yeah, it's a classic for a reason, you know. Like we all love it, and I honestly I just felt like they paced it really well. I feel like especially in the beginning with the build, like the context in the beginning of like how dangerous the dinosaur is when obviously they're trying to contain it, and then it's
Mm.
cuts to the archaeological digs where like we introduce like the main characters. Obviously, they get visited by this is gonna happen a lot. If I can stay on this.
The old guy, the Willy Wonka of
The old guy,
dinosaurs.
yeah, literally the old guy. Gets there, and then obviously they go to Jurassic Park. There's the big reaction scene when they first see the dinosaurs, which we're going to talk about a bit later on because that's one thing that we were discussing in terms of the acting, quite specifically as well. And then through there, obviously, then there's things to just start to go down and like go just completely into madness and chaos,
Yeah,
and obviously people start dying and stuff, and like the
yeah.
anti on the stakes,
Some
and
people
then at
get
the end as they
chomped.
all fly away from the island is yeah, I will say like I don't think I necessarily clocked this the last times I watched the movie, but I feel like the ending where everything is just kind of all of a sudden okay because it's the daytime, and now they just fly away on the helicopter, and I'm like, I mean I think I said this after we watched the film. I was like, right, so they definitely set that up for a sequel. That was the perfect ending for
I
like a
don't know,
what.
I'm not actually sure about that, but we'll get to the ending in a bit because I had
Yeah,
some thoughts on the
yeah,
ending too. But
but apart from that, I feel like it was paced quite well. Quite well.
yeah, well, I think everyone's seen Jurassic Park, but I think just for the
Of course.
sake of this being a podcast, we should probably run down the plot a little bit. So
Yeah, I'm gonna hand
basically,
that over to you because I'm gonna start struggling with words.
so basically, bunch of some Willy Wonka of dinosaurs makes
Essentially, yeah.
a theme park with, well, it's more like a safari park
Hmm.
full of dinosaurs that they've recreated from random DNA that they found in fossilized
And mosquitoes in
mosquitoes in
amber.
like amber
Yeah.
and stuff, right? And
And they
it's
fill
all
in the
very
gaps with
fantastic, but it does make some kind of logical sense. It's not all just like, even though it probably wouldn't hold up scientifically, just intuitively, it feels like it makes sense. So
yeah.
already it's kind of beaten a
I
lot
always
of
think of that
movies
scene
recently.
in that episode of Friends where Phoebe and Ross are having that argument about science, and then she goes, Jurassic Park could be real, and it
Well,
just
in a way, it
triggers
could
them.
be. I mean, they have been talking about cloning mammoths and stuff like that, right?
I
So
know, yeah, yeah, which is
So
very
it's
interesting.
not
I'm wondering if
completely
that
out of
will
the
ever go
realms
anywhere.
that this kind of thing is possible, but
Yeah,
I doubt real dinosaurs would come back. But anyway,
we could have
so
mammoths.
well, it's different times and climates, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay, we're not having we're not having a debate about
I want a
biology and
mammoth.
what
Give,
isn't
give
possible.
me a mammoth all day long.
But anyway, the point being is,
Very cute.
Willy Wonka of dinosaurs creates a theme park, does it with fantastic science. It's all magic, and he approaches some archaeologists. I think are they archaeologists? Whatever.
Yeah,
They're
no, the
dinosaur people.
paleontologists, darling.
Paleontologists.
Archaeologists are old buildings and pottery
Whatever.
and
Who
things.
cares? They dig up
Paleontologists.
dinosaur bones
Oh,
and
dinosaur.
they get horny for dinosaurs, right? They're very horny for dinosaurs.
Yeah, but they're horny for each other as well. No?
They're also horny for each other as well. That is true. And they're kind of they get approached by the Willy Wonka and they're like, "Look, I've got this golden ticket. Do you want to come to my
Got the
dinosaur
song in my head
factory
now.
and have it large, basically, at my dinosaur factory?"
Lord.
And they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I don't know about that. It sounds a bit weird." And he's like, "Well, I'll tell you what. How about I pay for all of your paleontology digs
Yeah.
for the next 3 years?"
The
And
next
like, "Oh
3
wow,
years.
a bribe? Nice, we'll do it."
Yeah.
So then they do it.
We established quite early on that Richard Hammond is not a good person, actually.
Well, I will get into him because we'll get into the characters and stuff in
Yeah.
a bit. But I just want to run down the plot, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I'll say before we carry on with the plot is that there's like a few little bits that they set things up. And you mentioned about the Velociraptor when they're trying to put it in the cage and it's attacking people
Yeah.
and stuff, and they kind of preemptively showing you that this whole idea is dangerous. But they also do it in slightly other subtler ways as well. They have like the insurance guy come in from the offices talking to him,
To
and
the amber mine.
and he's like talking to some guys, and they're like, "Oh, he doesn't really like insurance guys sniffing around and getting in the way and basically
But he's
making
like,
sure we're
"Doesn't-"
doing everything legally
Yeah.
and stuff. We don't really like
Yeah.
that. We don't
But
like."
doesn't the lawyer come back and say, "Hang on a minute, we're in the middle of a $20 million lawsuit from that man's family because somebody just got fucking killed by a raptor? Like, I don't think you quite understand the stakes."
Yeah, it's like I like that they do that though, because it adds this kind of real world element to it, because in movies and stuff like that, so often, like, you know, you watch a superhero movie or whatever, and like a building will blow up or whatever, and nobody ever thinks about the insurance people or like the people showing up or like the health and safety inspector or whatever, you know what I mean? Like but these are all things that happen in real life, like, you know, they have to come in and see the site, and then they have to deal with the wreckage and rebuild it and blah blah blah. So
literally, yeah.
So it was interesting that they included a character like that, because to me that actually tied it to real life. Like, it's a character that, like, us on the ground, people on the ground would have probably met at some point, or not maybe literally him, but like something along those lines. You know what I mean? Like a representative of a company or whatever. So I like that they did that. It was a nice touch, in my opinion. But it also kind of set up some of the themes that we'll also run through in a bit. And I thought it set it up very nicely. But anyway, so as they go along, they go to the dinosaur factory, and essentially,
a factory.
and essentially they are amazed. The paleontologists are. They meet. Whoa, sorry, I completely forgot. I overshot this.
Yeah, we met the fat guy, didn't we? First, before that.
We'll get to the fat guy, but basically,
okay.
I'm doing the main story. But basically, they also meet Jeff Goldblum, who is, I forget his name in it.
He's Ian something.
Yeah, Ian something.
His name's Ian, but I can't remember his surname.
Yeah, I can't remember his surname.
Jeff Goldblum is amazing. He is a
fantastic character, and this
so
movie did put him on the map in a big way. And this he kind of represents the skeptic. He's like questioning this. I mean, they're all a little skeptical, to be fair, but he's like the true skeptic
from the get-go.
Like he's even all dressed in all black, right? So to kind of represent that he is a cynic. Right, like he is like the dark.
It's not just to show that he's so cool, guys. It does actually have some symbolism behind it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's not just all dressed in black for no reason. Like it's to represent that he is the dark character or whatever, right? The opposition, the one that's like gonna poo poo all over this, right? So basically, they meet him. They go to the island. They start going around the thing. They meet Willy Wonka's fucking grandkids. They go along on the ride. They find out about DNA and how they do all the dinosaur magic. And then they go into the park. And then this is where the hijinks start to happen. And essentially, everything just goes wrong, and
Yeah.
the park is sabotaged, and the dinosaurs escape, and people get chomped, and
Yeah, many people get jumped.
it is a fight for survival.
It is.
And in the end, our main characters, our beloved main characters, do survive and
Yeah.
manage to make it off the island. While the
Yeah.
insurance guy and the fat guy and unfortunately Samuel L. Jackson all end up
literally, yeah.
tragically passing away.
Because he's in it for some reason. I made a joke when he came up and was watching it. I was like, this was pre-Shield. This was what he was doing. This was Nick
Yeah.
Frost's previous life. But then he does die, so that joke didn't actually
I'm
land.
tired of these motherfucking dinosaurs in this motherfucking Jurassic Park! Like, that's what he should have said. But anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Samuel L. Jackson. So that's basically the full plot, right? But we're going to get into like the details of things and the characters next, because the characters do kind of make this movie shine, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
And the themes that come out of it through the characters are also quite interesting to explore. Now, if you had you said you had some thoughts and feelings about some of these characters, so did you want to kick us off with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to reiterate throughout this episode that Jeff Goldblum is the main character and is right about everything. And well,
he does basically, what is the word?
He predicts
he foreshadows.
He literally says it so many times.
Yeah,
he's like,
I think one of his
I hate being right. Like,
he says one of his first lines is like, I can't quote it because I can't remember what he said exactly off the top of my head, but he essentially says like, "Oh, this could go really wrong" or something like that. Like he says
well, it's
something.
The famous life finds a way.
Yeah, that's a little bit later, but like,
that's when they're in the lab, innit?
Yeah, that's when they find out that they're all female. So to basically try and stop all the dinosaurs from breeding and it all getting out of control, they make them all female.
They find out didn't work.
But yeah, they that didn't work because they gave them frog DNA, and frogs can change their sex.
Hermaphrodites.
Right, so they can change their sex when they need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's kick things off with Dr. Grant and what's the blonde lady's name? I forget her name.
I can't remember for the life
of
me.
We suck at names, so sorry guys. Blonde lady.
You're just gonna have to deal with our descriptions of Alan Grant, R.I.P. Sam Neill, and the blonde lady.
Yeah, she's actually a really good actor as well, by the way. Yeah, so I actually feel bad that I can't remember her name, but she's actually fantastic in this.
But it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those two. I mean, the standout moment for me, and we mentioned this at the time when we were watching it, is their standout moment early in the film is when they see the dinosaurs for the first time. It's that famous scene that gets memed on quite a lot. It has been the subject of many memes. But when they see the big dinosaur in the field and they're in the car and like he like sort of gets up out of his seat like completely shocked, takes his hat off, and then he like turns the woman's head towards it and they're like, what the fuck? Like, and we were saying this because we talk about when we watch like more modern stuff about how sometimes even though something like crazy will happen, the reaction from the actors and the acting just isn't quite doesn't quite hit in terms of being
they just
believable
gloss over
and,
it as if it's like anything they see every day. It's just some shit they see every day.
Yeah, but like I think that moment, even though this whole movie is amazing and it's a classic, like that moment, and I think I said it at the time when we were watching it, is like that was when like, oh, this is a classic, like the moment hit was when they see that dinosaur for the first time and like they're going up to it and like they're like, oh my god, this is amazing, and you know, like
their reaction is their acting at that moment and their reaction to it is exactly what you would expect from people who are invested.
From people who love dinosaurs, who've spent their entire career researching them, they want to know more about them, and now they're there in front of a living dinosaur. It was honestly peak. And even Jeff Goldblum's line being like, the son of a bitch did it, or whatever he said, was again just added to that moment of like, this is this is so valid and such good acting, especially like with how their characters had already been established, even though it was very early on in the movie. Like it was already like, yep, that makes sense as of a reaction for these characters. But I think again, like that is also a credit to the pacing and the way that they wrote the characters even early on, to like we establish who they are, kind of what their backgrounds and motives are, and what their thoughts might be coming into this. Like we were saying, like Jeff Goldblum's character Ian is like so skeptical, like right off the jump. Like even when they're in the helicopter going to the island, he's talking all this stuff about like, yeah, but how have you thought about like how this could go wrong? And he's kind of making some quips and stuff, like making some banter about how this could sort of like go wrong potentially, and how the old guy is potentially making like a massive mistake here and stuff. And he's like, have you guys thought about this and then he talks about chaos theory as well, which again,
that was it. That was all he's on about. So chaos theory, about like how you can't account for the unpredictable, and like how the unpredictable will probably is more likely to happen, and all this kind of stuff. And then obviously that's kind of like predicated throughout the whole thing, and the whole thing is just him saying that is the basis for the movie, is that everything is going to go wrong. Anything that could go wrong will go wrong. Exactly. Is basically what is going on.
And again, he is right. He's that man can do no wrong. He's correct throughout the entire thing. Jeff Goldblum is amazing, and in this movie, and his character is just the best, absolutely the best.
He's one of the funniest ones.
Yeah, exactly. And I also just want to talk about Richard Hammond as well, and the fat guy. Can't remember his name.
I can't remember his name as an actor, and I can't even remember his name in the movie either.
Yeah, but he's just going to be known as the fat guy.
Fat evil guy.
Who's the hacker who is just in it to get the money, essentially. Because we established those two, because there's like two villains in this movie, but for different reasons. So the fat guy is like the villain because he's the one who kind of sets everything off, sets everything wrong. Like he's the one who sabotages the systems and everything, and is in it, like we established quite early on, when he gets given like the canister of like the foam or whatever with the embryo container in the bottom, and he's like, I love his little like in the chair. He's like I'm like a kid. He's like a giddy kid about to get like a bunch of money, and he's honestly, it's I mean, again, like it's credit to another of the actors in this movie for like just portraying that character even early on, like so well. So you establish like so much about them like really early on, and so like throughout all of that, like he is I think both him and Hammond have a level of selfishness to them, but they are like with the fat guy, he's like so much more so, to the point where it just makes him evil. Whereas with Hammond, I think it's just kind of a lack of self-awareness sometimes.
It's almost like naivety in a way.
Exactly.
It's almost like a naivety type thing.
And it takes everything going wrong and people's lives being like in danger to like that extreme extent for him to then go, actually we need to shut this thing down, because it takes him a while. It takes him a while.
He's having to let go of his like dream, isn't he? He's having to let go of his dream. So I can see in a way,
you can kind of understand in a way
to a degree, but I think he was obviously like way too caught up in all that, and also it's just kind of crazy he wouldn't have thought of any of these things go wrong in the first place
until it actually happened.
Yeah, it's like wow. But I
like how his character kind of goes along, and then obviously then he dies because he gets sprayed with poison.
We mentioned a dichotomy between those two watching it, because they, like you said, they both represent different sides almost of greed in a way, and how ambition and greed can blind you. Now, you can say about
quite literally, because he got fucking poisoned. I
mean, I suppose. There
you go.
You can be consumed
and also I like the little nod to, obviously, like when he's trying to get like out of like the river and stuff, like he drops the canister of the embryos and like that, and then you see that go down the waterfall, and like that's completely gone. That's obviously like that's like a bit right before, or either like right after he dies. It's like during that whole scene, it all happens quite quickly. But that whole thing is just kind of it represents like obviously like the end of his storyline, but kind of the him doing this has just caused like a much bigger problem that's a lot bigger than just that canister of what he was trying to do.
Well,
So I
he
just like
was
how they talked
in
about
his greed and his rush
mm,
to get his money and all that stuff. The chain of events that he started, he was actually killed by. So
yeah,
like he didn't even
literally.
stop to think like how this could backfire on himself. And
Exactly.
it's kind of like a warning against like corporate greed, but also personal greed. I mean, a part of the reason why he's even doing it is because he feels shortchanged by the boss, who's not paying him enough.
Yeah.
So
Literally. Yeah.
there's like,
That's his entire real like motivation is just like fuck Hammond, I'm gonna get this and
mm.
make a bunch of money and fuck these guys because I'm smarter than them. I can hack computers.
Well, he was the IT specialist. He set up all the computer
Exactly, yeah.
parts. So he's not really a hacker. It's that he created the code for all their
Well,
security
yeah,
systems,
yeah,
so he
yeah,
could
that's
just
true.
manipulate it however he wanted to.
Yeah.
But the point with him is that there is like this interesting thing going on, and I think one of the major themes of the movie is playing God. That's definitely one. How playing God
Yeah.
can lead you down a dark path or to unforeseen circumstances, and how greed and naivety can corrupt the people, whether they inadvertently hurt other people, like Hammond does,
Mhm.
through his blind ambition and not realizing that like this could be go wrong in certain ways, and also not paying his employees enough and stuff like that.
Literally, yeah.
Is backfired on him just because he wanted to be a bit greedy in that respect.
Yeah.
And then there's the other guy who feels shortchanged, and then he's using his greed to then fuck over everybody there, get people killed, then he gets himself killed because of how greedy he
Yeah,
is.
literally.
So it's like there's levels to it that you, as a kid, I don't think you really think about all that really. I never did, and to be
No, I
honest with you,
didn't
even
either.
as an adult, when I've seen it, I haven't thought about it that much. It was only when we were watching it and I knew we were going to do this podcast that I thought, actually, I'll analyze this a little bit harder, and there is actually some deeper messages going on with Jurassic Park that I think is quite interesting to explore. It's not just a summer blockbuster with dinosaurs in it. It's
Yeah, literally.
there is actually like a bit of a message here that I think is interesting. Um, but I also wanted to get to the ending as well, um, because no, actually, not the ending right now.
Okay.
What am I talking about? We've got other things to talk about before the ending. What am I
Yeah.
talking about?
I was gonna say we're already on the ending. We've got so much more to
Yeah,
talk
sorry.
about.
I've got like because we're freeballing now. I've just got different things bouncing around in my head.
Yeah, no, this is gonna
I
happen.
just remember when you mentioned it earlier. But anyway,
Yeah.
so what other characters we got? I did like the acting of most of the characters as well. Like pretty much everyone. Um,
Talk about Jeff Goldblum. Do it, please.
well, Jeff Goldblum obviously embodied
Any
his
excuse to
character.
talk about that bad is a good one.
He embodied that character very very well and played it perfectly. And it's one of the reasons why we even know who he is now is because of his
Exactly.
role in that.
Yeah.
Um,
Wouldn't have been the wizard in the Wiki movies if it wasn't for Jurassic Park.
there is also this theme in the movie about parenthood as well, because
Yeah.
Sam Neill's character comes in and he's basically against being a dad. He's like hates children, doesn't want to be a dad, hates kids. In fact, there's a scene right at the beginning where they're doing the dig, and for some reason, there's literally no reason for this kid to be there, right? There's a little
Kid is my
bully
favorite.
child, like he's a
Yeah,
little bully
just
child,
in the middle of it all.
and they're talking about velociraptors, like, wow, we can't believe they've found these bones. And he's like, why the fuck do you give a shit about these fucking dinosaur
Yeah.
bones, you stupid piece of shit? Like, and then Sam
I
Neill
love the
turns
way the
around.
crowd spot, and there's just this bully-looking kid.
Yeah,
Just in
like
the middle.
why is he even there? Who is he with? Like, who is he
I
even
know.
with? Like, what is?
To be fair, I think there are some other kids that are actually there. When the camera pulls back, it must have been like a little school party or something.
Oh,
But you don't really see them unless you really look. It's literally all just this one kid.
right. It seemed very odd to me. I was just like, what is this kid doing here? But
Oh yeah,
anyway,
100%. It's definitely odd.
so then Sam Neill gives him a little talk where he's like, listen, Velociraptor could literally rip you in half with one of these
Yeah,
claws, and he pulls out a fucking claw. He's like,
yeah,
and it could rip your belly out
yeah,
and leave your
yeah.
intestines all over the floor, and you'd be screaming in agony while it's ripping you to shreds, and
But
you're
you'd
still
still be
alive.
alive as
You'll
they
still
start to
be
eat you.
alive while he's eating you.
Yeah.
And the little kid's like pissing himself and crying. And
Yeah.
Sam Neill's like, yeah, I showed that fucking
Yeah.
8-year-old kid what's what. I sure showed
It's one of my
him.
favorite scenes in the whole movie. I can't lie.
now I'm the real man. Now I'm
Yeah. I just terrified a bully child. This was great.
But so he goes from that. He goes from spitefully going after some kid, right,
Yeah.
for mildly shitting on his paleontology career.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes from that to having this bond with the grandkids, and he's like looking after them and taking them through the kind of jungle that they've made on this island, and trying to save them and make sure they make it back safe. And all the
Like
while
one
he's
kid
like,
literally gets electrocuted by a fucking 10,000-volt fence, and he's just
yeah, but
he's there.
can't
Oh,
help
just making
everything,
sure
can you?
everyone's
But it's just
okay. Yeah. I know, but I'm saying like he was there for that kid. Like after that
oh
happened, and
yeah,
he was
yeah, he was looking
making
after
sure
him,
that he was
trying to
alright and
sort him
stuff.
out,
Yeah,
making
he
sure he's
was
okay. But that's the thing, is that he
really
takes on
good.
like this very fatherly role, and he is like looking after them. He's teaching them things. He's he sleeps with, like, no, I was gonna say he sleeps with them, and I was like, that sounds really bad. I didn't mean in that
Okay,
way.
Chrysanthemum,
I meant
calm
he's
down.
in a tree with them, and they fall asleep together, and he's got them in his arms, and it's like a really cute, like, touching moment, and it really shows the progress of his character, that he went from a bit of a cold, cynical kind of, I don't want to say like all about me, because I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just more like a closed off. He had like a kind of closed off
Mm.
energy.
It was guarded,
Yeah, and then he
I
goes from
think.
that to
Yeah.
being like this kind of protective, paternal figure. And I think that's quite interesting, especially from a male perspective, because often we will get and I think it was actually this kind of thing was more common back then, that you would get these kinds of stories where men would have these journeys of becoming more paternal or wanting to be fathers or whatever, whereas you don't
Mm.
really see that much these days. And you still have lots of stories where women are mothers and women have kids and da da da, and that has not really changed that much. Although I do think some of the messaging has changed around that,
Mm.
but you
I
still
feel like you get
see.
more single mothers now versus like kind of that storyline that we've just been
Yeah, but
talking
it's not
about.
even just
Yeah.
that though. I just mean that like women are visible as mothers in media, and even though there is
Mm.
um different messaging, through the different decades around that, that's still like kind of a strong theme with women, and I guess that's to be expected, really. But with men, there used to be a lot of, or at least a lot more, messaging around being a father, wanting to be a father, taking on those roles, finding fulfillment in that, like that kind of fulfilling you as a man, and finding the honor, the duty, and the love, obviously, from all that.
Mm.
And I quite enjoyed that. It's actually a bit of a breath of fresh air to see something like that, when I feel like in most movies these days there isn't really a lot of strong messaging for men, especially in like a paternal role
Mm.
like that. So that was nice to see. There was also like the blonde lady. I forget her name. If you want to Google her name, that would be great. By the way, I think that might actually help us here.
Whilst you're talking, I'm going to Google her name. Yeah.
But the blonde lady, she's like she wants to have kids, obviously, and she's in a relationship with him, and she's kind of pushing him, nudging him into that, and she obviously has a great amount of satisfaction from the fact that he is gaining those paternal feelings, which is nice.
Her name is Ellie, by the way.
Ellie in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. not her actor name.
No.
Okay, I don't know what her actor
And
name
Jeff
is.
Goldblum's character is Ian Malcolm, just so we
Oh
can
yeah, Dr. Malcolm. Yeah, of course. But
How could we ever forget Ian Malcolm?
he's dressed all in black and he's named after Malcolm X. But anyway, like so so basically he like there's themes around that as well, which is cool. And then there's also, in a weird way, you could say there's parental themes around the Willy Wonka, the dinosaur Willy Wonka, and his kind of child or children in the dinosaurs and stuff as well. It's kind of like a parental weird thing going on there as well.
We have that scene where the dinosaur is hatching, like outside the out of its egg in the lab, and he's like,
Yeah,
I want to be there.
and he says, "I insist on being here."
Raptor.
Yeah, he says though. No, but he says in that scene, he says, "I insist on being here when every single one hatches."
Yeah, literally.
Which is like a father being present at the birth of.
Yeah, literally.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
you should want to insist on that. A good father would do that, right? They would want to be there. So it's there is there's all these like little parallels around that kind of thing going on, which is quite interesting. And just to go back to the greed part as well, like the corporate greed and all that, there's the insurance guy as well. And we haven't spoken about him much, but I felt like he was an important character in that he showed how the kind of corporate greed will kind of almost be like a yes man to people like Hammond. They can see clear dangers. They're there to be insurance guys and whatever. But all the way through, he's like, "This is going to make us so much money. This is going to make us so much money."
Yeah.
And he's kind of egging it on, despite realizing
he's not like that. He's only like that once they actually see a dinosaur and he sees what it is, that moment where he's like, "We're gonna make so much money off this."
But even still, though, that's not the point, though, because he is still obviously knows.
Like, you don't understand. This is a serious investigation, Hammond. And then when he sees the dinosaur, he's like, "We're gonna make." So he just completely switches and is like, "We're gonna make so much money off this."
But that belies his true role, though. Is that like, yeah, he's there to like wag a finger or whatever. But this is what shows his duality in his character, is that he does know, he is very aware of how dangerous and bad this could be, but because he sees dollar signs, he's like, well, let's just forget all that. You know what I mean? Like it's literally, and then he ends up getting consumed by that greed as well.
He abandons the kids in the car to then go run into a toilet cubicle and get jumped.
Yeah, exactly.
By the T-Rex.
He's one of the first fatalities. And it's again, he's consumed by the greed. If anything, I guess the dinosaurs actually do represent greed in this, in a certain way.
The T-Rex, yeah.
Yeah, more specifically, yeah. But I kind of all of them in a way. But and like they're just like, the greed gets out of control and then consumes people, and that's kind of what's happening in this.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Hammond manages to make it out.
Yeah. Because of course he does. He has to make it to the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of strong themes in here that don't get spoken about a lot. I think there's actually a little bit more symbology, a little bit more depth to it than it just being
hey, some guy made dinosaurs and then it all goes wrong.
Yeah. On the surface, that is what it is.
Gets reused many times.
On the surface, that is what it is. But if you look a little bit deeper, it is like a message against corporate greed and how greed can consume as a person, and the different kind of personalities that are drawn to greed and how it can affect them differently. Yeah. I mean, even the paleontologists at the beginning, like Dr. Grant or whatever, they're bribed into going. So they're there because of their greed too.
Yeah.
So
because they want to continue digging up dinosaurs, and he's like, "I'm going to continue to let you do that for 3 years," and they're like, "Oh well, now we have to," because he's just on
the only people that are not involved, that are not greedy, are part of this is Dr. Malcolm. At least to our knowledge, we don't know what he was offered or what he was given to be there. He's just there. Yeah.
To be fair, the vibe I get from him was that he just wanted to try and discourage Hammond from this. He was there like, this is really dangerous, and I know that, I'm also a scientist and I like dinosaurs and this is also my thing, but this is bad. We have theories against this because I feel like he was there to try and be the morals in it, where
Yeah.
the lack of morals was around with pretty much everyone else's kind of viewpoint, apart
Yeah.
from um, Dr. Grant and Ellie, because they kind of come around and like, actually no, he does have a point, but like yeah, with Ian the whole time he's there. I think as I say, I think he's there to kind of be the moral compass and be like, hey bro, you should not be actually doing this because life
Yeah.
finds a way.
Yeah. That is the point of him. He's definitely the foil in that respect. That's 100% what he's
Yeah.
there for. But what else was I gonna say? I got distracted.
I know my eyeliner is fabulous. Just you
It's
got to
pretty
focus
good.
on what
Yeah,
you're talking
you could do a kickflip off that, off those
about.
wings. So, I'm trying to think if there's any other strong themes in the movie. I don't think so. Oh yeah, I was trying to think of other characters that weren't consumed by greed. I think Samuel L Jackson's character, he was
I was
actually
gonna
just a
say
good
him.
character. He was trying to fix
Yeah.
the situation. He was trying to make sure nothing went wrong, and he was trying his damn hardest. But then he comes out to try and get power back into the park and restore some order, and he
And
gets
get
killed.
chomped by a velociraptor.
So
Yeah.
in the movie symbology, he was consumed by the greed, but I guess that can just show you that other innocent people can also get caught up in your
Mm,
affairs and be affected by it. So if you're a greedy
yeah.
person, your selfishness does not just affect you; it affects other people that you maybe are using or are in the periphery of your life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they can also be consumed by whatever it is that you get up to. So
Samuel L.
mm,
Jackson did not deserve to die in the
he
way
did
that he
not.
did.
He was really trying
He
to
was
hold
just
it
trying to
together in
help.
there. He
He
was
was
he smoked about
Fast and Furious. He
6,000
was just
cigarettes out of stress. Just
indoors when they have
yeah.
computers around, but then again, it was 1993.
So um and the two kids were not
Yeah,
there out of
of
greed
course.
either. They were just there
Because
again as
kids, a lot
innocent
of the time in
bystanders.
movies anyway, are there to represent the innocence of the new generation and the vulnerable people
Well,
in the
I
whatever
think they were more
scenario.
there as a vehicle for the paternal
Of
message.
course, that as well, but
And then
yeah, just the overall symbology as well. Just being like, no, there's these innocent kids in here who are
mm,
just they're like, oh, dinosaurs are cool, I guess. Well, especially like the boy out of the two. It's like because he literally goes up to Dr. Grant. He's like, I read your book, and at first he's like, okay,
yeah,
and
he's like the kid's like comes up and goes, "I read your book and I loved it and I know everything about your book that I've read." And he's like, "Fuck off, kid! Don't talk to me."
yeah, yeah. He's
Like,
he's he's literally like, "What car were you gonna go in?" And the kid's like, "Whichever one you were in."
yeah,
And he's
it's
like,
like if it's like I said to you, like I was like, if that would have been me, I would have been so flattered. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, get in the car with me, man, let's go!" Like,
yeah.
but
But he
he's
wasn't
like,
quite there
yeah,
yet in his character
no,
development. But he gets there. He
he
gets there.
does, he does get there eventually, but
Through crazy chaos and disaster, but he gets there. He gets there.
the kids do create a lot of the stakes as well. I think
Mm,
it wouldn't
yeah.
quite be the same movie without them because the
I agree.
idea of trying to preserve their lives adds a lot of tension,
Yeah.
and especially with that
Again,
iconic
with the
scene.
innocence and the lives, and yeah.
Well, with the iconic scene of them in the kitchen area and the velociraptors come in and they're like
Yeah.
hiding from them, like that is such a good scene. Like it's actually brilliant, and
Yeah,
you
I
could
like
cut
the
the tension with a
lighting in that,
knife on that
like the
one.
flickering lights and like the darkness and stuff, and just the atmosphere that's created through the colors and the lights and stuff, like in
Mm.
that scene as well. Like it's quite cold compared to quite like in the daytime scenes, the lighting's quite warm, and then as soon as it goes to like the night, where obviously everything goes wrong, like everything's really blue toned and like really cool tone, which obviously adds like
Yeah, the way they filmed the night scenes were
the
really
tension and
good.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, really,
yeah,
really good. Very effective.
yeah. But
The
obviously,
lighting in
specifically
general
in
is
the
just
yeah,
phenomenal
oh,
in this
100%.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like in that scene in the kitchen, obviously where like the tension's probably the highest it is in like the whole movie, because obviously it's just the kids versus this velociraptor and they're trying so hard to like get away from it and stuff. Is where like it's really really intense and stuff, and I think that that just adds a lot to the effect. So bravo to whoever the lighting team were on that on that
Yeah.
film.
Little cinematography team.
Yeah.
But like so the kids are like pretty integral, really, when you think about it. Like, I don't think you could really have Jurassic Park without those kids. It just wouldn't work. I don't think you'd have the same like feeling towards the idea of people being killed. And also
Exactly,
the action in this movie, you could call it an action movie if you wanted to, but I like that in the past, action wasn't just shooting, stabbing, fighting,
yeah.
right? Which now it feels like that is
Yeah, it's
how
pretty much
action
all
is
it
done
started
now.
to
It's
go and
just pretty
see
much
yeah.
all a set. It's not even a set piece because a lot of it's CGI, so it's not even like a. They're not even
Yeah,
doing practical
exactly.
effects or anything.
I know,
They're just
yeah.
doing like these highly edited,
In front of a
quick
green
fire,
screen,
punch,
motion
punch,
captured
punch,
stuff.
do a kick,
Yeah,
do a flip,
yeah,
and do a shoot out the window, and then
yeah,
that's your action scene, and that's what action
yeah,
scenes are now. Whereas back in the day, we had the action scene where there was a part where they're hanging off a wall by a wire, and that one of the cars is about to fall off, and also the T-Rex is
yeah,
walking around, and
yeah,
they don't know whether the T-Rex is going to spot them or what, and they have to swing back and forth, and then the car falls down, but the car still has the kid in it, and it falls in the
mm,
tree. Like, this is like kind of basic. It seems kind of basic on its face, right? It's just a car folding over an edge,
mm.
but
But in that moment, there's so much more depth to it and so much more
yeah,
context and so
there's a
much
lot
more
going
like
on.
emotion, because one that had been established with the writing and the acting from the characters. Which I mean, we said this at the time, like as well, the acting from the kids even like was really good, which you
Brilliant,
don't tend
yeah.
to get a lot anymore. Sorry to all the child
I
actors that have
mean,
come up
child
in the
actors
last
have
10, 15 years.
mainly almost never been good, so it's
Yeah.
always remarkable
So
when
it
they
was
are good.
really refreshing in this movie to at least have some good acting from kids. But yeah, when I was like, I suppose the Harry Potters are kind of an exception to that, I guess, in the last 20 years. But yeah, on a whole, yeah. Well, we can disagree on that. I will defend those films till the day I die.
I'm just saying it's a
But
mixed
yeah,
bag, but we're not debating Harry Potter right now.
I know. We'll do that some other time. But but yeah, the acting from the kids, yeah, just overall, like as we were saying, the way that the characters are established, even like really early on, and just kind of throughout, and yeah, that scene where the car's falling out of the tree, like I think that um. Dr. Grant had started to turn, I feel like his attitude towards the kids at that point, but I feel like that scene was kind of a turning point as well in his views and like the bond and
Well, that
that kind
was
of
him
thing
being
that he's
forced
having
into it,
towards.
basically.
Yeah.
That was like the beginning of him being
Yeah,
forced
but he
into that
handled it
role.
really well because like obviously you needed to like calm the kid down and be like,
Mm.
you can trust me kind of thing, like let's do this
Yeah,
together
because
kind of
the
thing.
insurance guy ran away, and she was having a
Mm,
panic attack, the little blonde girl. And she's like,
yeah.
he ran away. And then he's like, but that's not what I'm gonna do. Okay, that's what
Yeah.
he says to her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then she kind of internalizes that and goes, okay, right, I can maybe actually I
Yeah.
can trust this guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that moment when he says that to her is kind of the beginning of that parental role. It's like him. It's like you had the dad that run out on you, and then you got the dad who stays. You know what I mean? It's like
Phase,
these are
yeah,
the
literally. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um. So I can't. I don't know if there's much else we can say about some of these other things. I mean, just in terms of pacing of the movie, I felt like it was edited brilliantly.
Yeah.
The pacing, it had scenes where it had room to breathe, like we mentioned about the iconic scene where they first see the dinosaurs and they're amazed and they can't believe it.
Yeah.
That scene goes on for a good couple of minutes. I can't remember exactly how
Because
long,
they're
but
taking it in, it takes a lot for them to
yeah, they
process,
don't
but
just
it's not
breeze past it
so
though.
it
They
was
let
an
it breathe.
audience.
They let it be a
Yeah.
moment. They let it be like this. Let this sink in.
Especially as well because
Mm.
of the level of special effects that were used in this. I mean, not all of it was CGI. Like, for instance, like the big T-Rex was partly like a hydraulic animatronic
Yeah, there was lots of practical
thing.
effects in it as well as
Yeah,
CGI. Yeah,
which
for
was
sure.
great. But yeah, like the level of the CGI that they were used, obviously, like for that first scene where like it's the herbivore dinosaurs, like at
Yeah.
the watering hole, like the big one that they see, obviously is CGI. So and that was something that audiences hadn't really seen in that scope before. So they allowed that time for like for the characters to process it in the context of what's happening in their
Hmm.
storyline, but obviously also for the audience to process their reactions, but also like, wow, this is amazing feat for special effects in 1993. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it was just overall like probably like one of the best, if not kind of the best scenes in the whole movie. Even though it is really early on, as I say, it's iconic
I
for a
mean,
reason.
there's a multitude of brilliant scenes
Yeah.
in this movie, but the reason I bring it up is that they let it. To me, it's important to let certain things breathe in a movie, and I think a lot of times in modern movies they just want to flash through each thing and just get to the next scene, ba 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 ba,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I just find that you. It's not that there's never a time to do that. There is some time to. Sometimes it is more prudent to get onto the next thing, right? But I think for very particular moments, you need to let things breathe. You need to let the characters have a moment. You need to let the
Yep.
audience have a
I agree.
moment. You need to let you have to have a good idea of how to pace things. There's a time for quickness for
Mm,
certain places. There's a time to slow things down. There's time for a
yeah.
bit of a regular speed, an average speed. But
Yeah.
like you get I feel like this is a natural thing that you should understand. It's almost like a conversation. There's times when we're
Yeah.
talking and I might speed up my sentence to get something out real quick, but there's sometimes where I might just slow something down so you can understand
Yeah.
exactly what it is I'm trying to
Exactly,
say
yeah.
to you right now.
And I think
So
that's
it's that
if
kind of
somebody
thing.
has a good yeah, I feel like if
Mm.
somebody has a good understanding of just that concept in general, and if they see it as that, then they're gonna have a better understanding of how to pace a movie. And obviously, it's Steven Spielberg. He's obviously multi-award winning for that reason,
Hmm.
I suppose. I just want to say, like, what one of those moments where and I don't really know if you can class it as well one of those moments where the audience can just sort of breathe. But one of my favorite moments in the editing and like when you cut is when it cuts to from I think it's one of those scenes where Dr. Grant and the kids have just escaped the T-Rex or whatever. But it's that cut where it goes from that to Jeff Goldblum like lying on the side of that lab with his shirt over
The
and just aura
iconic.
farming for everything. That is what one of my favorite cuts, if not my favorite
That
cut in the
picture
whole
should
movie.
be in the thumbnail to this, by the way.
I am absolutely going to put it in the thumbnail for this because it is a meme for a reason, and I'll find many photos of that scene. We even laughed a bit like when it came on because we were like, "There it is, there's the
Yeah.
meme, there's the iconic or a farm moment of just of Jeff Goldblum
It's actually a shame
just
because
vibing out."
by that point when he gets injured, he's not really in it after that.
No,
Um, it's like he's only in it briefly, and he made up such a great part of the first half of the movie, but then he's basically not
yeah.
even really in it for the second
Exactly.
half.
All he has to do is just at that point, obviously he's been injured, but he just gets to sit back or a farm and just watch all of what he said come true.
Yeah, I just thought they
That's
could have done
essentially
like with
it.
something a bit more with him in the second half of the film,
Yeah, no, I
but
agree
yeah.
that they could have had him in it a bit more, but yeah, like I feel like in the first half, it's like he's having to sort of really hammer it home of like this is bad, this is why this is bad. Like he's explaining to Ellie
Mm,
about the butterfly effect and chaos theory and whatever in the Jeep when they're first going through it. And there's like when they're all getting out of the Jeep and he, he has those moments to be like, look, that was chaos theory. Like that was completely unpredictable. Who could have guessed they would have done that? And oh look, there she goes as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a funny scene. But yeah, I feel like in that first half, yeah, it is so the audience gets the idea. So of again, like what his thoughts are as a character, but also to establish like later on he's gonna be, we're all gonna be saying, oh, he told you so the entire
Yeah.
time. So I feel like it's in a way, yeah, I do wish he had a little bit more screen time in the sort of second half of the movie, but I also feel like it wasn't necessarily needed because of how the events of the second half of the movie just reflect and confirm everything that he was saying. So
Yeah, they
it
just
was just
justified his point of view.
yeah,
I don't think that he needed to be in it a lot. I just thought like a few quips here and there, like a few
yeah,
things, but he was basically
yeah,
just absent, really. But
yeah.
um,
And
but yeah, that's all
any
right.
excuse to have more Jeff Goldblum in anything is a good
Yes,
idea. So
exactly.
yeah, just anything.
So let's get to the ending now, because I did have
Mm.
like some thoughts about that. So you're saying that you think it was set up for a sequel. I don't know if it was, to be honest. So the way it ended seemed odd to me. Like, because this is
It
quite
seemed
an
odd to me as well. That's why I mentioned it in the beginning because
yeah,
it was very abrupt. Like obviously we'd had really good pacing throughout. Like we had mixed between like the action of the dinosaurs and then like back to the lab and like the tech room and stuff and like it was good going back and forth going between the different characters and yeah, it just feels like it's obviously like as soon as it was the daytime and like things started to calm down a little bit, but obviously like the stakes were still kind of high because obviously the dinosaurs were still about. But then as soon as we had that scene where the raptors got on the T-Rex and like they kind of took it down but not really because all they did was just delay it so everyone can sort of get out. But I just feel like it was very not anticlimactic, but it was just a little bit sudden of just being like, oh, so they're just leaving this like this and that's it. Like there's no
yeah.
like there wasn't even necessarily even like an ending line to really like make you remember like what the concluding thoughts of everybody was. It was just kind of like they were all sat in the helicopter, just kind of vibing with
They just
each
fly
other a bit.
away. Yeah,
Obviously quite relieved that they managed to get out, like the facial expressions and everything, and again the acting. But like, I guess, like you sort of expect somebody to say something, so you at least say, "Oh, this was the end of the movie." But like the only thing that concluded it was just yeah, that shot of the helicopter just flying across the sea
mm.
towards the sunrise, I guess.
Yeah, literally just flying
Which
into the sunset or whatever. Yeah,
literally, which is kind of cliche for such a interestingly like not cliche movie, I suppose. It was I don't know, it just felt a bit abrupt.
yeah. It didn't sit right with me. Like, and I guess I can see where you're coming from in that it could be setting up a sequel, but I don't know if they did plan a sequel. It seemed to me like they almost didn't really know how to end it. There's like you can't really put a conclusion on that because that what would it be? They go back to New York City and Hammond gets arrested for negligence and goes through all a bunch of lawsuits and then they get
Yeah,
indicted for taking bribe money off him and all this. Like, what
I
are the
know, yeah, that'd be so
consequences of all
boring.
this? Like, what are the
That's not
consequences?
Hollywood at all.
It's just like, what is the consequences of all this? I
Yeah,
guess they
that's
just
true.
thought, okay, they escape the island and then they go all live happily ever after, and then they fade to black. You know what I mean? Like that's literally
That's
it.
kind of how it felt,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
it's
know. I mean,
probably
like, obviously they did do like two and three, which we are planning on watching and probably gonna make some episodes about. But because I've never seen the other two, I've seen all the Jurassic World films, but I've never seen the
yeah.
original
You've seen
two
like
and three.
all the worst Jurassic Park films apart from
Yeah.
the first one, obviously.
Apart from the first one, yeah, obviously, but yeah, I watched all the Jurassic World
We will not be
franchise.
covering Jurassic World on this
No,
channel, by the way.
you will be
Just to
glad to know. A lot of you will be glad
yeah,
to know.
no way. Hate those movies.
Yeah. Also, it was funny because there's that character who kind of looks after the raptors and who's telling him about the raptors and kind of how dangerous, like how much more dangerous they are because of the
Oh
way that
yeah,
they act back and stuff.
the South
And I
African
said,
guy.
well, this is just the original version of Chris Pratt. And they just took that character and went, Chris Pratt will be this in Jurassic World. And that's so they based the entire like first couple of it, like first, yeah, like the first two movies on that,
Mm.
on his character.
Yeah, I forgot to mention him earlier when we were talking about different characters, but yeah, he is quite an
He's
interesting
not in
little
it for
character.
that long.
He's not in it that long, but I feel like he is kind of an important character in a way because
Yeah.
he kind of establishes
Just
the
what they're dealing with
the
here,
danger
really.
and the behavior patterns and like the kind of things that you might not expect from them, and like he actually outlines the intelligence of the dinosaurs. Like he says about the
because he's talking
velociraptor.
about how they work out the fence and stuff, isn't he? Like
Yeah,
how they
yeah.
were
He mentions
because they learned.
yeah, he mentioned something
different
about
things,
like
yeah.
they test the fence, they jump it at different places to see where it's
yeah.
electric and try and make it vulnerable. And he also says about one of them, like I think they're the pack leader or something, but he says about the
One,
biggest.
kills some of them or
Yeah,
something.
well, there was like 10 of them,
Yeah.
and then the big one like killed a bunch of them. But basically, he says about the big one, you can tell that she's like figuring things out and looking at you and understanding things, which is
a trope that they repeated in Jurassic World with Blue the raptor, the Chris Pratt looks after.
yeah,
It's kind
but
of
in a
leader of the
way
pack.
that was stupid. But in this way, it was more like their intelligence feeds their nature. So like their nature is we want to eat and kill everything because that is what we want and we don't care about
We're a
anything
dinosaur,
else.
and that's what we do.
But we're also intelligent enough to be able to work out how to do that in a way that it's not just blindly running after a ball like a dog would. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
literally,
they can think and interact and do things in pack tactics that most animals can't do. So
yeah.
it was cool and interesting that they added that kind of higher intellect aspect to the dinosaurs. I thought that was pretty cool. Again, that's a little detail I think gets glossed over. I know it's not something that I
100%.
really took in, and I've seen this movie a bunch of times, but that line stood out to me when we watched it together. There was another character that I feel like I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, the blonde lady, Ellie. So we haven't spoken about her that much in this review, but she is a fantastic actor and she does really, really well. I think the reason she takes a little bit of a back seat in the story, I would say, but she does have a few moments that are kind of interesting. She does have like a few feminist moments, but I will say they're not.
It was the beginning of those of that kind of trope.
I don't know. I don't think they were too bad. I don't
it?
think they were like really cringe or anything.
No, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of standard for sort of the time, I guess.
If anything, it kind of backfired on her because she's like, Hammond offers to go out to like do these electric breaker things so that they can restore power to the park and whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I don't know if you should go because you're a woman and I'm a man, so like maybe I should go because it'll be dangerous out there, kind of a thing. And she's like, oh, you think you think because I can't do it because I'm a woman?
Yeah, literally.
And then she like goes out and does it.
Kind of
And to be fair, she does do it, and she does actually do it, but she does get injured, and she does basically nearly die doing it.
Yeah,
and but to be fair to Hammond, he's such an old man; he would have died instantly. So like, it just wouldn't have been useful at all.
Yeah, literally.
But there is, I think, the way that they went about kind of doing a feminist message to me is the way that you really do it. It's not just be like women can do anything and everything, and we can do it better than you, stinky boys. It's better. Yeah. It's better that they have like a mature woman who has some flaws. She was also wanted to be a mother as well. She wasn't like anti-mother or anything like that. She wanted to be a mother. She liked that the other guy was being paternal and stuff, and she embraced being feminine. She wasn't like super masculine or anything. She was still a very feminine woman, but she was also willing to take on risk and take things head on in her own way, and also she risked herself. Like, so it wasn't just like she was just amazing at everything. She went out there and did the breakers. She didn't know what she was doing. She was trying to do things. She was messing it up. She was getting chased by a velociraptor. She gets injured. She's trying to run away. She can't run fast enough, and blah blah blah. Like,
she's there like dragging a leg.
Yeah. So like, it's not like she's just Wonder Woman. Like, she is a human like everybody else. Everybody else gets injured. Ian Malcolm gets injured. Like, all these things happen, and she's not immune to that. Whereas it seems like in modern movies, they try and create this kind of feminist stuff where the women are kind of infallible, they're invincible,
Mm.
they can do anything, and there's no consequences, there's no stakes. So and it just
Yeah,
gets
you see that a lot.
boring. It gets very
Yeah,
boring, and I don't
very
even know how
monotonous.
many women even really like it at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of
Yeah.
infantilizing. It's stupid. It just doesn't work for me. It's never worked for me. I prefer this kind of stuff where they women are still humans like everybody else. They're not
Mm.
like super beings that are just there to stick it to
Yeah.
the man and show why men are
Literally,
dumb and women are so cool. It's like women could be cool
girl
because
power.
yeah, women could be cool because they're women and also humans, and they can,
Mm.
and men can also be cool because they're men and humans. Like it doesn't have to be this contentious thing. Like it doesn't have to be like this competition within the movie to prove something to the audience. You know what I mean? It's a
Literally,
very
yeah.
bizarre psychology that's come out of how people write movies and characters now. But yeah, like she was a great character as well. Just really like she was a bit like the glue that came in. She was like the kind of the optimist in a way as well. Um, and yeah, she was like kind of the glue that held them all together in the end. And she has quite an interesting scene where she confronts Hammond about how everything's gone wrong and how
Mhm.
we're
Yeah.
not thinking about everything else. We're thinking about the people that we love. She takes on a
Yeah.
bit of a motherly role in that moment where she's
Mhm.
like, we don't need to care about dinosaurs. We don't need to care about no Jurassic Park. We don't need to care about any of this Willy Wonka bullshit that you've been dreaming up.
Yeah.
We need to care about the people that we love right now because they might die, right? And that's like
We we should watch the original Willy Wonka. The amount of times
the
you've
Charlie,
mentioned Willy Wonka in this, we need
the
to watch
original
the shit
Charlie
on
Chocolate
that.
Factory. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's one of the
I've
movies
not
that
watched it since I was a kid.
often still makes me cry to this day, even
Yeah.
though I've seen it a million times. There's
Mhm.
just such powerful emotion in that movie. But
That'll be a future episode.
we will definitely cover that eventually. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of trying to do different themes.
Yeah, yeah,
Like we might not just do one movie in a review. We might do several movies in a review. So we'll think about that. It just depends what time we've got and what we can and can't do during the week and whatever. Um, but we'll probably do these like maybe once. Oh, that's the alarm. We've been going for like
cool.
so we'll probably do these. I'd say we'd look to do them about once a week, and we'll probably just put them out over the weekend, maybe on a Sunday or something. And yeah, we'll just be talking about the movies that we're watching. We'll try and do up to date movies. I was thinking for the next installment, ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats for this one. But I was thinking we might go to the cinema and watch that Odyssey movie, the new Odyssey movie that's just come
Oh,
out.
oh, that's gonna be fun.
Because
Yeah,
Anna is actually coming to visit me next week, and so we might be able to
next
do a
weekend. Yeah.
podcast in person.
Mm.
So we'll do it. We'll figure it out. We'll go to the cinema. We'll watch it, and then we'll film a podcast
Yeah.
together. In fact, maybe we could do that on the Saturday actually, because we didn't really make much plans for the Saturday day. We
Yeah.
could maybe do that
Yeah.
in the daytime actually. But anyway, um, so yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So yeah, okay. Last thoughts on Jurassic Park then. Last thought.
Hmm.
What are we grading it out of 10? What is it in terms of a
Oh, that's yeah. I am
10
so
rating?
tempted. Just obviously, this is the first episode, so we don't really have anything to really compare it to. Unless we're doing like a
This
tier
is
list
just
or
your
something.
personal thing, like your personal
Yeah.
rating.
Wow.
Like, what would you rate it as
For
a
me,
movie?
for me, it's a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing that doesn't make it a 10 out of 10 for me is the abrupt ending.
Mm,
But most of the 9 out of 10 is just Jeff Goldblum, and everyone else is acting, but
yeah.
mainly Jeff Goldblum. And
But you can't just give a movie 9 out of 10 because it has Jeff Goldblum in it. That's not how this
yes, I
works.
can, and yes, I will.
It's
Okay,
not how
especially when
this
it's
shit
Jurassic
works.
Park.
It's not how
This
you
is
rate a movie. What the hell are you talking
well,
about?
not all movies have Jeff Goldblum in them. Not all
Yeah, but
movies
even
have
the
Jeff
ones that
Goldblum.
do are not all 9 out of 10. That's
No.
preposterous.
Well, when it comes to Jurassic Park, I'm not going to be rating all of Jeff Goldblum's movies 9 out of 10 just because he's in it. Okay, but with Jurassic Park, it is the standout. He is right. He can do no wrong. He's right about everything. Everything he says comes true. He aura farms like hell, and that's why it's a 9 out of 10 for me. And also the acting and the pacing and the lighting and everything else. But yeah, but mainly Jeff Goldblum.
This is terrible. Awful grading. Okay, anyway, I would give it a 8 out of 10, I think. It's got an iconic soundtrack, brilliant sound design.
We didn't even talk about the music, man. John Williams, one of his most iconic themes and
beautiful.
Pieces
It's a tearjerker of a score.
It's the theme tune, and then
beautiful.
The music when they see the dinosaur for the first time. Like, yes,
it is unbelievable. And then all the nice refrains that they do later on with like the clarinets and stuff. Beautiful, absolutely amazing. Beautiful score, fantastic.
Yeah.
The sound design, especially on like the dinosaur roars and sounds that they make, are all really cool.
So iconic. Yeah.
Like you can, when the velociraptors are making their sounds and stuff like that, it's all really cool. And then you had that little one that spits the poison. He's going, making like these little tweeting noises, almost like a bird. Yeah. It's very interesting. It's very cool. Really love how they did all that.
Yeah.
The practical, the CGI effects. CGI is a little dated now. Maybe that's partly why I would give it an 8.
I don't know though.
But for me, it's not. It doesn't really detract.
CGI nowadays is looking a little dodgy compared to those.
I mean, it doesn't really detract from it for me, so I don't really care anyway. I think the reason I can't give it a 10 out of 10 is because conceptually there is some depth to it, but it is just kind of like a dumb family movie. So I would have liked something a little deeper to push it to that kind of 9-10 category. But it's a very strong 8. It's not just like a blasé 8. This is like a very solid 8. Like to me, 8, 9, and 10 are reserved for truly great movies. And I think the 9 and 10 category for me is just one that have very deep meanings that are produced through the story very well. And that's when you get to 9 and 10 for me. So I would give it a strong 8. I feel like 8 is probably about as high as you can possibly get, unless you're like some very deep philosophical, basically.
Or if you have Jeff Goldblum or a farming like hell.
Yeah, for you, obviously. We have very different ways of grading these movies, clearly.
Yours is a lot deeper than mine. Mine's more surface level, but I'm okay with that.
So yeah, there we have it. We have Jurassic Park. So we probably will do 2 and 3. We'll probably watch them. We might watch them during this week. I don't know when you're available through the evenings this week.
We'll work it out.
If we don't do it this week, it might be the one after the Odyssey. We might do it after that. But yeah, we'll figure it out.
We will.
But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you for
so much.
seeing our new little podcast.
Yeah, well, we will see how it goes. Like I said, this was our first episode, so please hit that like and subscribe button. As always, you guys know what to do. Notification bells turned on and all the lovely things. I will be making some social media for it. Well, specifically, I'll be making an Instagram account for this podcast. So make sure to go over and follow that. We'll be sharing short little clips versions of these episodes and stuff over there, and with some behind the scenes stuff. Probably as well.
Behind
letting
the
you guys
scenes, what
know.
Behind the scenes stuff? I don't even know what you're talking about. What behind the scenes stuff are we gonna get show people?
It's so cool. It's all okay. It's all okay. It will all come together. This is fine. I'm the one doing the strategy. And
whatever.
Just trust the process, okay? And but yeah, do all the things, and yeah, we will see you guys in the next one, which will be the Odyssey. Probably, which is going to be a hot mess. I already know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's going to be interesting, the Odyssey, because I'm seeing wildly different reviews. Like, people are saying it's like the most perfect movie ever made, and some people are saying it's the worst movie ever made.
Hot lava garbage. Yeah.
I'm like I'm gonna go open-minded, like, because I could.
Same. Yeah, I am.
I do believe it'll be shit. But my expectations are pretty low.
But
I could be pleasantly surprised.
With an open mind is where we're at.
No. But what I'm saying is, I'm open to being pleasantly surprised. It could be good. I don't know. I'm not saying I expect it to be bad, but it could actually be quite good. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, we gotta start. We gotta fucking actually
We
end
gotta
this.
shut up.
So
We gotta actually shut the
thank you
fuck up.
guys, and we will
Yeah.
see you next
See
week
you
for
in the
another
next
one.
one. Yes.
Mwah. Mwah. Mwah.